Playhouse pulled this TRQ moments ago out of the box of totally random questions. What is something that your parents did, and it probably seemed totally normal back in the day, but here in 2026, oh yeah, it's not happening. They could not get away with it.
So it wasn't my parents, but my friend's mom. She would bring us wherever she needed to go. So, like, if she wanted to go tanning, she would go to, like, the tanning salon, and she would leave us in the car. And she was, like, gone for, like, 20 minutes.
And, these days, people will be like, what are those kids doing in there?
Yeah, people don't even like when you leave dogs in cars.
Break the window.
Yeah.
We got to get these kids out of here. What is something your parents did back in the day that wouldn't fly today? Now, in the spirit of that, it probably didn't seem weird to you at all at the time. You're just like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but like I think my parents would do it too. Like if they're, I'm going to run into this gas station or I'm going to run in here. I felt like sometimes would leave us in the car for a really long time. Like, and it would be like, some of us would have to go to the bathroom and stuff.
Okay, so probably, it might not have been okay then either then.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The deeper we're getting into it, something that your parents did back in the day that it probably wouldn't fly now.
So when I was little, this is aging myself, but I got left at a Kmart to teach me a lesson.
They just abandoned you at
Left me
Kmart?
at a Kmart. She went out to the car, drove around the block, and then came back. But the employees were like, "Where's your mom?" Like, she left. I don't think you're allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah, generally frowned upon, maybe, to just abandon your kids' places.
I mean, but she went around the block and came back.
That's okay.
It's not like she was like, "See you later, figure out how you're getting home."
As the kids screaming in the parking lot, "Mom, come back to me!"
Someone said one thing that stands out, and I think this was like for all of us. My parents never knew exactly where I was. They knew like general area or friends I might be with, and that was enough. But we would leave our house, go knock on our friend's door, ask if they could come out and play, and just kind of spend the day roaming. I think we had a lot more independence then. Today's parents, I feel like, need to know where their kids are at all times.
Back in the day, it was whatever. But today, not so much. What is something your parents did back in the day that probably wouldn't fly today?
Someone said my mom would tell us, go outside, and then she'd lock the door behind us until dinner time.
Just get out.
I could not imagine. Someone else said my parents didn't childproof anything. Cleaning supplies under the sink, tools in the garage, matches were in the kitchen drawer. It seemed to be like teach the kids not to touch the dangerous things rather than redesign the whole house around them.
Do you know what my parents' baby proofing was?
What?
What their child proofing was? Nothing was locked. Everything was at reach. Sometimes cabinet doors were wide open just for whatever reason. But at some point, she had purchased rolls and rolls, pages and pages of, have you ever seen a Mr. Yuck sticker?
No.
Google Mr. Yuck. It's going to be like a green smiley face that doesn't look very happy. If Mr. Yuck was on something, that apparently was like some sort of child, I don't know, device that it repels you. There's no way you could possibly touch it. It's a force field.
It's a neon sticker with a smiley face with his tongue out. Ugh.
Ugh.
It says poison help with a phone number.
I also don't know that
Mr. Yuck says stay away.
I don't know that we had a conversation about Mr. Yuck. I think that just because that sticker was there, there's no way I'd be like, ooh, Clorox bleach, woohoo.
Listen, someone recently posted this on social media a few weeks back, and I remember seeing this, and someone was like, you're old if you remember these stickers. And I was like, what are these stickers?
I think all she did was just stick them on all her cleaning stuff and was like, that'll keep the kids out of this. Well, then we're good now. We're covered. We put we could never get in trouble because, see, we clearly put the stickers on it. The kid's just an idiot. I'm a toddler.
These were just put on things, and they didn't tell you anything?
If they did, I don't remember it. Let's be honest, there was probably a conversation, but I think she just felt perfectly happy just slapping the sticker on stuff and, whatever talk she'd had with a 2-year-old, figured that would last my entire childhood.
Someone else said my parents would just say, be home before the street lights come on. That was it. There was no cell phone, no GPS trackers, no checking in every hour. We would go off on our bicycles and then reappear at dinner. If my kids vanished for like 10 hours today, I'd have a search with a helicopter in the air.
No kidding. No kidding.
Yeah.
What is something your parents did that just would not fly today? You got something kind of like that?
Oh, wow. My mom gave us cow's milk instead of formula. Like when my siblings and I were babies.
Just, straight from the womb, they were like, here you go, brunk.
Yeah, I don't you have to wait till they're like a year?
Yeah, there's an age, yeah.
That's the doctors knew.
Well, let's say maybe no. Well, I mean, who knows?
Someone said when I was 8, I remember my parents would send me to the grocery store with a handwritten note, some money, and I'd walk by myself. I'd go buy milk, bread, whatever else was on their list. Then I would walk home with the groceries. Nobody thought twice about it. Today, if you saw an 8-year-old wandering around town carrying cash and groceries, half the neighborhood would be posting about it.
Listen, we lived adjacent to a Super America gas station, the SA. And I can't tell you how many times my dad swung in his pickup truck into the SA, pulled right like so he could see the cashier, so like right by the window, handed me a wad of money and said, "Go get me a pack of Marlboros."
No way.
And like if they ever questioned it, I just like would point at my dad and he would wave. I
no.
absolutely bought ciggies for him many times as a child.
So there was
Would not fly.
There was a liquor store up the street from us. And so I'd obviously have gone in there like whenever my parents would get alcohol, but they also had like a pretty okay sized candy selection. And so my friends and I would ride our bikes to the liquor store and we would just go in and get candy. I mean, it was mostly a liquor store with like one little shelf of candy and just like a few spots down in the strip mall with the liquor store. There was a convenience store that had all the candy, but that was just the closest to us. I think that's if you saw kids riding their bike to a liquor store, would you even be able to let them in?
I think generally frowned upon, probably, right? Yeah, frowned upon.
So many people are saying they would buy cigarettes. Yes, one of my aunts used to send me to the store for her cigarettes all the time with a note, and they sold them to me when I was like 8 or 9. Someone else said my mom made me buy her cigarettes with a note for her. How can you just send people with a note and be like, "There, so-and-so's buying cigarettes for me," signing it like with... How did kids not forge these?
I also would love to know, like, where were these pairs? Like, what were they doing? Where they're like, you got a bike. Why don't you go get yourself some candy and me some cigarettes? I'll be actually at home. Here's your note.
How did the note pass?
You know, I'm sure there was times where it was not for the parent. Let's be honest. It was just your friend with really nice handwriting.
Someone said I grew up on a farm and my dad would let me drive a pickup truck when I was probably 11, not like out on public roads, but still like just in the country roads. It was a full-size truck. I could barely see over the steering wheel, and back then it was considered teaching responsibility.
What is something your parents did that just it wouldn't fly today?
Okay, so my parents used to smoke cigarettes in public places.
Yeah, well, I mean, you get the eyes now, depending on where you are, right? There's still plenty of people that do, but yeah, like it's specific. If you're indoors, yeah, no way. Remember when you would go to the restaurant, they'd be like, smoking or non?
Can I tell you, I used to think this was so funny. When they used to ask smoking or non-smoking, I don't know if we were like 11, 10, when my friends and we would always say, "We're on the patch. Don't tease us." We thought it was funny. So like obviously non-smoking, but that's so weird that you used to be able to smoke in restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Someone
I'm
said
sure the servers thought you were hilarious, by the
yeah,
way.
we thought we were. Someone said if I would call home and ask for a ride, they would say, "Start walking and we'll pick you up."
And they weren't joking.
My cousin a couple holidays ago was telling a story about how my aunt and uncle, when she would get done for like soccer practice, she would have to use the payphone and she would call like whatever number where you have to be like, "It's so-and-so calling." So she would
collect is what you're
collect
looking
call.
for. Yeah, collect call,
I
yeah.
hardly used a payphone. This cousin was older. And so she would always say, "Soccer practice is done." And like that's what she would use for the name. So then they would know to come pick her up.
Soccer practice is done is making a phone call.
Yeah.
Would you like to accept the charges? Don't need to.
And she's like, "We didn't have a phone, so that's how I would have to tell them that I was ready to be